morning, students. Myself, Dr. Atul, your faculty for injury prevention and rehabilitation. In this week, we have already studied about the various type of medical examination and few part of the medical examination like history taking, general physical examination. Now, this week we are going to study about or discuss about the lab investigations and the human performance lab. So, let's start. The lab investigations. In the lab investigations, we do complete blood count, that is the blood examination, urine examination, and the cardiac examination, that is the ECG, electrocardiogram. So, complete blood count is essential for to rule out any kind of anemia, by which we can see the level of hemoglobin, and by the graph we can see the which type of anemia it is, and the TLC, that is the total leukocyte count, we can see okay, is there any some infection is there or not, or the body is the immunity level is good or not. And with the help of ESR we come to know if, is there any some chronic infection is there or not. So, and then during the blood examination we do liver function test for the health of the liver. It is a very important organ of that athlete. It play a significant part for the health of the athlete. And renal function test, it do the filtration of the uh, all the unnecessary or the wastage material of the body, and the lipid profile, whether the triglyceride levels or the cholesterol is in the normal level or it has increased because of diet or some other reasons. Then the optional examinations are vitamin D and other hormonal assays like thyroid, testosterone, aldosterone, and various ratios of those hormones. And the urine examination. Urine examination is very important. The color of urine tell us about the hydration of athlete, ki whether he is fully hydrated or not. And in general, when we talk with the athletes, we tell about the color of the we ask about the color of the urine. If it's just pale uh, or watercolor, it simply says the athlete is uh, good hydrated. And if it is as the color of urine becomes darker, the level of hydration is reduced, so athlete is dehydrated or his kidney is not properly functioning, so he has to take extra water. And with the help of routine examination we also come to know whether he's having a some sort of infection or not. And with the specific gravity we come to know the uh, whether his kidney is functioning well or not. And simultaneously we can rule out the uh, very serious disease, that is diabetes insipidus. And the ECG has to be conducted in the cardiac lab, and with the help of ECG we can rule out any congenital or any kind of abnormality of the athlete like heart enlargement. The so electrocardiography has to be conducted in the cardiac lab or in the medical examination center, and with the help of ECG we come to know various heart ailment, whether he is having any kind of arrhythmia, any kind of cardiac anomaly, or his heart is absolutely fit and fine. Uh, a healthy ECG generally rule out all kind of heart abnormality. So abnormal ECG doesn't rule out and heart abnormality, but if ECG is normal, it simply says the patient or the athlete is healthy and he doesn't have any kind of Currently, he doesn't have any abnormality. And now the comes the human performance lab. The human performance lab is some sort of lab where the performance analysis of the athlete is conducted. Here we do the body composition analysis of the athlete, field or lab aerobic capacity of the athlete. We do the anaerobic capacity of the athlete with the help of wind gate and on the cycle ergometer, and the motor skill test, various field motor skill test for the speed, endurance, and the explosive power, the upper body power, and the psychological assessment in the psychological lab. So, body composition analysis uh, tell us about uh, the lean body mass, how much fat that individual has, how much lean body mass he has, the body fat percentage, and the muscle mass ratio, and the water content of the body. Accordingly, we can adjust his nutritional planning and his diet also. With the help of field or lab VO2 mm, max test, we know the fitness level and how much his VO2 max, so his aerobic capacity is, and we can differentiate which player is better for that sport, and the anaerobic how much explosive power that individual athlete has. In the short sprinting activities, how efficiently he will utilize his energy, and how efficiently he can perform. With the help of motor skill test, we can judge about the athlete, his agility, how agile he is, is how is his speed, how is his upper body power, how is his explosive power of lower limbs. So all these tests has to be conducted during the motor skill test and the psychological assessment, where how correct he has a decision making power, uh, is the thought process of a athlete is good, or he has some psychological issues, how he will perform during the stress situations, how he is going to perform during the competition or a stressful bout, or in the final round, like the uh, like various shooters, they perform in the group test very well, but as soon as they reach in the final they lose out fast. So their psychology, and where that psychological sport psychological psychologist has to work on them, it has to be examined during this assessment. So now comes the importance or drawbacks of the medical examinations. Athlete, with the help of these examination, athlete is aware about his health, and he is fully aware कि I am fit and fine, or where I have to work, or how I have to take my diet or nutritional advice, or on which body part I have to work. Then the with the help of this, one can detect the early injury when we do the skeletal musculoskeletal examination. We come to know the imbalance of the muscles, and the is there any restriction of the motion of that particular joint, so we can work on it. And we can also examine the mobilization of that joint, and the flexibility or stretchability of that joint, and accordingly we can monitor, or we can modify his strength and conditioning program, so the injury can be averted or uh, prevent. Then the progress of recovery, whether he's doing progress quite good, or is doing his rehabilitation not correctly. And the medical examination built rapport between the doctor and the athlete. This time, athlete asks so many questions about their health, ki why it is significant, and it's just not a waste of time. Or so they build up a strong bond between the doctor and the athlete. Then the sports body, with the help of these data, make a prevention program, like FIFA had made the 8-point ACL prevention program. And for the researchers, a significant data is available for that particular sport, or for the athletes. So betterment of the that sports, or the so less number of injuries will be there, and more and more number of athlete can participate or play. And they are well aware, or the parents allow their kids to participate in those games. When the importance is there, so few drawbacks will be there. So first is, these medical examinations are time consuming, and elite athletes, they, if they don't do their regular training, they think it is a wastage of time. So for these medical examinations, they have to miss either one or two session of their regular uh, trainings. So they think it's a wastage of their two sessions. Then the inconvenience of the athlete. Inconvenience, obviously, it has to be there, because he has to come to the hospital, or the human performance lab, or the medical examination area, where all these tests has to be conducted, his blood has to be drawn, his urine has to be collected. And if they think, or he reveals something which require further examination, so that has to be examined. And the very strange part in the human body is fitness. Overall, uh, athlete who is best in the fitness, or the health examination, it is not necessary कि he will perform on the top. So sometime it is not like that. It's not a linear relationship कि the very fit person will be the champion. So lots of athletes thoughts कि it just when he these examination can't, or if I am perfectly well, why I am not be champion. So this is the one can say कि drawback, the most uh, mm, significant drawback of this examinations. Or and the last one is, it's costly. Though some the rich sports body, they bear the examination, and few of a time, if athlete has to bear, or their money has to be reimbursed by the governing body, but initially that athlete has to pay all these expenses. Here our medical examination part is over. So, what is the significance? What are the types of medical examination? What is the sequence of medical examination? And how the medical examination progress? What are the part of medical examination we have discussed? So now we will discuss about the conditioning of the other part of the lecture. What do you understand by the warm-up program? Everybody is saying कि one has to do warm-up just before exam, but just before your any game or any kind of activity. Or so we will discuss about the warming up. So what is the benefit of warm-up? How it is has to be conducted, and what are the portion of the warm-up program? Generally, warm up takes initial 5 to 10 minutes of the uh, any sporting activity or any kind of resistance exercise or any kind of gym activity. And it has various components also. So first, the importance of the warm up. The most and significant part of warm up is performance enhancement. The injury reduction, it increases coordination, major part of training, and build coach athlete bonding, because uh, athlete and coach, they interact, and they do a lot of discussion during this time. And the performance enhancement, various studies has conducted, and they found that those who done proper warm up, their performance in the competition has increased, and the injury reduction has also been reported, because their uh, hand-eye coordination, their own body awareness is increased quite a bit. They are fully aware about their body, so the injury is quite less. The coordination is also increased. So for the warm up, there's is the initial exercise we do before starting any major activity or any kind of exercise, like before early morning jog, or before early morning any gymming activity. We do 5 to 10 minutes a little bit of exercise, that comes under warm up. You come to know today what are the different parts of warm up and how it has to be conducted. So first is a aerobic part, then the stretching part, and then comes the sports mimicking activities. There are three part of any warm up session. So it's a properly organized chain event, under which the aerobic uh, part, which divides into two parts, that is under which body temperature is elevating, and the second part, it's non-temperature related changes in the body part, then the flexibility or the stretching part, and the last is the sports mimicking activity. So the when we do some kind of exercise or some little bit, so our body uh, temperature increases, and the benefit of increased body temperature is it increases muscle temperature, it increases our core body temperature, it's enhance the neural function of our body, and disrupt the transient bonds which has formed between the joints. So these are the temperature related effects of doing warm up, and the non temperature related are the increased blood flow, elevation of baseline oxygen consumption, and the post activation potentiation. So the first part is aerobic exercise. These are the slow aerobic activity in which the heart rate reaches up to 100 beats per minute, and the body started light sweat, and there is no exhaustive, or but we have to keep in mind it should not be very exhaustive or energy training, because the main part is different. Here we are just making our body to do all those exercise. These are not the actual exercise, we are just preparing. Like we go in the kitchen, we arrange everything, we do our chopping, and but it is just for our convenience. The major part is the cooking. So same in the exercise, or when we do training, these warm up are basic arrangement, where the body and the joints, and our central nervous system, the energy mm, process got started, and the better result will be available. And this aerobic component of warm up lasts for 3 to 5 minutes, and it also depends of the ambient environment of the area. If you are in the hot and warm climate, you might require 3 minutes, or and when you are in the cold area or in a winter, you might require more than 5 minutes also, where you start having a light sweat, your body temperature is above your little bit increase. Then the stretching. The stretching exercise or stretching is a measure of range of motion, whether his joint is fully full in range of motion or not. And stretching exercise are two kinds, two types: static and dynamic. Both of these stretching exercises are beneficial, but it depends which kind and which type of exercise or stretching you have to do. It depends on the type of sports and the time of your warming up or your session. And the third and most important part is the sports mimicking movements. They resembles the main activity which you are going to conduct after warming up. So this portion of warm up include the sports mimicking activity, by which his the major joint which are going to involve are prepared, and the his mental conditioning will also be done by doing these activity. So today we have discussed about the balance portion of medical examination, under which we have studied about discussed about the lab investigations, the importance of lab investigations, the human performance lab, what comes under human performance lab and what is the significance of human performance lab, then the importance of the medical examination and the drawbacks of the medical examination. We have also discussed about the warm up, why it is important, and what is the science behind the warming up techniques, and what are the various component of warming up session. And now in the next session we discuss about the flexibility and the techniques of flexibility exercises.